Hi, welcome everyone to my week 2 PowerPoint presentation on market failures titled Mortgage Loan Market. The 2008 financial crisis was a result of the home mortgage loan market failure that obviously needed the federal government intervention in providing provisions in order for the banks to continue to produce the mortgage loan products for the consumers at the time. It's a prime example of how a private sector firm can continue to try to push goods and or services and with the incentive of profit that ends up failing because of the lack of regulation and government intervention. So in the next slide, I will illustrate how the mortgage loan market failure fits most, if not all, of the conditions in regards to market failure. Now, there are 6 conditions of market failure. First being failure of competition in regards to monopolies and other forms of monopolies. Second being public good or failure to provide information. Third being externalities, positive or negative. Fourth being incomplete markets. Fifth being information failure. And sixth, as you can see there, disequilibrium as far as unemployment, inflation, or interrelationship market failures. Now, I believe that the mortgage loan industry market failure does fit all 6 conditions, but it doesn't require that, but I find that it does. I'll leave that for the feedback of everybody to decide on. However, there are a few that I like to highlight here. As far as negative externalities, I believe that's pretty obvious. We saw how the mortgage loan market failure affected the real estate market, the amount of foreclosures, and onto the automotive industry, which was affected by the financial sector. And a domino effect, right, from domestic to the global economy. Information failure was big. A lot of the information being given was not complete to people or the consumers that were getting these products. And as far as coordination, a lot of things were going on there, and there was a need for a third entity, right? Or you can say the government to set policies and regulations, which at the time had virtually none, right? And so it just left it at the hands of the private sector to do what they do. As far as I believe number 6, disequilibrium, I believe that's a big one because the interrelationships were there, right? One market failure caused other market failures, as we saw, as I mentioned, as just like the domino effect. And so with that, it did cause a great need for the federal government to intervene by providing bailouts so that they can continue to issue the products, in this case, mortgages, to the consumer. As far as analysis goes, I'll leave that up to everybody here. I think there's a case for normative and positive analysis as far as the mortgage loan market failure. We can say that, in the absence of government, private entities are, chasing after profit, and that it will ultimately fail because it needs government intervention, right? If any of the conditions of market failure is there. However, in regards to the mortgage loan industry failure, it's been years now, and we can see that the positive analysis approach might be a better one because we now know that the help or the provision that was provided to produce the product wasn't used exactly the way it was supposed to, right? It didn't benefit the consumer. In fact, it benefited um, the banking industry, right? The producers, and it made them larger. And so with that, I'll leave that to you, to everyone, as far as how they would analyze the scenario there. And with that, that's the end of my presentation, and I will see you guys next week. Bye bye.